Hey, so we're back here again. Segments. Pete said he's not feeling good. Uh, Something about vomiting and from both ends. I don't know. So it's alright. We'll just talk about, what the heck is this? Not from who you think, Steve, New York house on the corner. Who the hell sent this? Ugh. Dirty sponge? It's dripping wet. Oh shit. Tax? Shit, it just dropped everywhere. Fuck. Who the hell would send me this shit? Ugh. Don't judge. It's just, I'll clean it up later. Alright, so, what came out? FF9 came out. It's been going on 9 issues now. Story still hasn't ended. So, what I would recommend is let it finish, whenever that's going to be. Take a look at it as a whole, and we'll tell you whether to pick up the trade. I would not jump on anytime soon. You'd have to go back to the first one. Actually, you'd have to go back to Fantastic Four, like 578, whenever Hickman started on his run on there. You have to go all the way back there. So if you're not willing to go all the way back there, you don't want to go back there, you don't want to live in the past, whatever the case may be, then just don't. And pick up the trade. But we'll tell you whether to pick up the trade. Secret Avengers 17 came out. I'm probably going to stop picking it up. Secret Avengers. Brubaker's not writing it anymore. I don't know if it's a slight hiatus or he's just not on the book anymore. Warren else is writing it. Warren else is not really my cup of tea. I drink coffee. They're standalone. There's nothing wrong with a standalone. But the one before this wasn't great. And this one's not that great. So I just, the artwork's not good. So I'm probably gonna, I predict Secret Avengers ain't gonna go past issue 25, if even that. It seems like it's gonna be like, it served its purpose, whatever that was, and that'll be it. Superman 1 came out, giant fire thingy. Battles a giant fire thing. I wasn't all that impressed. George Perez isn't writing it. I mean, isn't drawing it, he's writing it. What are you gonna do? I wasn't all that impressed by it. Definitely wasn't an origin thing. I think it's supposed to take place early in Superman's career, but it's not definitely not an origin thing. I guess that's what action is for. Ultimate Spider-Man #2. It was good. I'm gonna keep getting it just to see what happens with this kid because he's significantly younger than Peter Parker was when he was bit by his radioactive spider. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I can't think of his full name, but there's someone who mentioned on the Facebook, Craig something with a P. I apologize, but he said that he's hoping that because I think he even told us, like, hey fellas, give it another chance, and it's not bad. It's just that it's different, and anything that's different, you have to get used to. So, but he said that he's hoping that he doesn't like make his own webbing, and I agree with him 100%. Peter Parker was able to do that because Peter Parker is brilliant. So that's usually not. You know him as a wiseacre. You know him as all these things. You don't really know him as brilliant. I mean, recently, now that he's back at Horizon Labs, that's kind of resurfaced that part of his personality. But this seems just like a regular 12-year-old kid, or how old he is. So, like I've said 1,000, the artwork is great. Like I've said before, Bendis, his ideas are good, and his dialogue is often good, but he's just too talky, and he tries his best to write like people talk in real life, and it's too much, I think. You know, real life, people don't just like, you don't just talk and then you stop and then the next person talks and they stop and you talk. That doesn't happen. You know, people talk over each other, they'll cut each other off, that kind of stuff. Not in a mean-spirited way, just because that's how we are. And he tries to capture that on the page. It's hard to, for me, it's hard to follow along, because he'd be like reading something, and then all of a sudden it'll stop mid-sentence, and then the next person will say, yeah, but, and then it just, he didn't need all those words there, Brian, if I can call you Brian. He didn't need all these words. He could have told his story without so many words. See, not so bad. Beginning, not so many words. Oh, more words, not so many words. And then boom! All of these words in this one page between the father and the son. I understand you trying to develop characters. I'm not saying that, you know, I understand, but I don't know. Overall, I'm gonna keep getting it and see how it goes. I think Book of the Week was Amazing Spider-Man 670. In contrast to FF, this is part 4, but I don't have that feeling of like urgency, like let's get this freaking thing over with. I'm still enjoying it. They realize, or the characters who are trying to combat this virus and figure out how to stop it and cure everybody, has realized that Anti-Venom is running around, and he's a cure, and he's even like, you know, parked himself in a church, inviting people in, saying, if you're infected, come here, I'll cure you. So Reed and everybody else gets a whiff of this, and the Avengers get a whiff of this, and they're like, okay, so it's Anti-Venom, let's go get him. Is that right? Is that just, no. So, it could be wrapped up in 5. It'll probably be stretched out to 6, and that's probably okay. If it goes past 6, damn, that's a problem. I call everybody by their first name today. Brian, Dan, Voodoo. So, no, but I like it. I'm liking it. So, and, you know, Delgado's artwork, it's growing on me. He did X-Men like 15, 20 years ago. I didn't like it, but it works here. So, we'll see what happens. I'm hoping it wraps up in 5, but it'll probably go to 6. Justice League Dark. It's basically Justice League, you know, fighting threats and villains that are from the magical, mystical side. So, and they don't really know what to do. So Enchantress is going nuts. She's altering reality. And Wonder Woman, Cyborg, and Superman are like, all right, let's go take care of this. But they're like, you know, they don't know what to do. So Zatanna says, I'll take care of it. I know this is my wheelhouse, so to speak. The artwork is great. Who's the artist? Mikel Janin? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But the artwork is really good. He does, if it's a he, I think it's a he does really good close-ups. So, but I'm gonna keep getting it. I like it. Okay. Somebody else back to Facebook. I think it was Nancy Gonzalez who said, "Which one do you like better of all the new Bat books?" And Batman Dark Knight came out, and I liked it a lot. In a close second, that's right, too. Close second to Batman, but I still like Batman better. Detective Comics was good. Batman was, you know, all 3 main Batman titles were good. Who would have thought? But if I went in order, I'd say Batman was best, and I like this second best, and then Detective Comics third. Not to say Detective Comics was bad, but excuse me, out of all the 3. But this was really good. David Finch isn't doing both. He's just drawing it. He's plotting it, but he's not actually doing the actual writing. Paul Jenkins is doing it. Paul Jenkins is one of those writers that he's really good, but then I think they give him like bad assignments. And you know, if you have a bad story, it's really hard to make a bad story work, even if you're a good good with dialogue and everything. But this is so far so good story. So Richard Friend, that's the guy who does this. One of the guy's names. That's funny. He's the anchor, Richard Friend. So, but it's I like it. It's good. And then often I'll go make my list and I'll go to the comic book store, ready to pick up everything. And then I'll see something that I read on the screen when I was making my list and thought, pfft. But when you see it and you flip through it and you go, yeah, I take nah, yeah, I take yeah, fuck it, and you grab it and you just you want to buy so fast you must go out without paying for it. Never happened to me. But I picked up Voodoo. I guess it would be nice for me to tell you what the hell I'm talking about. Probably because the first page kind of sells it. But basically is you find out that Voodoo is a stripper alien. Hold on. She's a stripper alien. Let me explain. She's an alien. I guess she's taking the form of a stripper to learn about man and man's secrets. I guess a lot of soldiers come visit her, and she just gets a lot of information from them. I think she could read minds or something. So, but there's like two Mulder and Scully type people who track her down, and one of them goes to a hotel room because it's a woman and she doesn't want to sit there and watch these people strip all day. And the guy's like, oh no, I'll watch. So, but he confronts her about it, and he says, you come with me, and she says, I'm not, and she turns into her regular form, which I'll scan and put up there, and kills her. And then she takes his form and then leaves. So what Ron Mars is doing, I think Ron Mars does Aspen, which is Ramon's field. And he does a lot, from what it seems like, he does a lot of mystical stuff and fantasy stuff. So this seems like right up his alley. But the artwork is great, like really, really good. If this artwork keeps up, I probably might keep getting it just for the hell of it. But the artwork is really, really good. Sam Basri, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Really wonderful. And especially these first few pages with Voodoo, stripping, I have to lend this to Ramon if he doesn't have it. I don't want it back, but I have to, maybe a present. I'll give it to Ramon. I'll pick up another one, give him this one. Happy birthday. So, all right. So that's it. So hopefully next week Pete's feeling better. Seems out of the blue too. He just seems like all of a sudden he was all right. I talked to him, and the next day he was like had the flu. I know. It seems odd, but anyway. Well, we'll see you next time in the basement, and then don't forget, come see us at Comic-Con. We're F2 in Podcast Alley. Come by, say hi. Somebody will be there. Even if some of us are out, we'll probably get a tag team. Some of us go out, do some interviews, buy some comics, while somebody's sitting in the booth. So there'll be somebody there. So don't, steal the booth from the table. Oh, we'll see you next time. Whoa!
So, I apologize in advance for the lateness of this video. It's nighttime out here, but I had to spend the whole day at the emergency room after running into Tish on the street. No good. So, today, we're going to discuss a little something that inspires bowel-watering fear in most comic book store owners, and that is the iPod and comic books. Now, before I give you a review of the Marvel and DC experiences, which is what I'm going to focus on, let me first explain that there are a bunch of options for you. IDW has their own comic books app. Comixology is the grandfather of all comic book apps. They actually do the design work for the DC and Marvel Comics app. Image has its own app. I think Dark Horse has its own app. You can find a lot of different kinds of readers out there as well that I think will also handle CBR files, which you can get over a torrent. And obviously, there's like a trillion PDF readers if that's the format that you take your digital comics in. That said, let me start at the beginning. The Marvel and DC experience is basically the same. Okay, you have the standard sign-in where you're asked to, create an optional account so that you can scale your experience like the same way you can a Kindle, so you can read your comics on your iPad, your iPhone, your computer, on a fucking billboard while you're driving down I-95, whatever the fuck. It is optional. I can't speak for everyone, but I don't feel the need to spread my fucking personal info any further out than it already is. And then you're broken down to a home screen where you're given sort of your personal library of comics, the store, your settings, and then the store itself, which is broken down into featured content, new content, popular, and your personal favorite, mine, free content. I'm going to tell you like this. DC made a big stink when they said with their new 52 relaunch that they were going to make new issues available on their digital platform as well as in comic book stores the same day. They're doing it for the same price, $2.99, but you can have it on your iPad delivered digitally as opposed to having to, dare I say it, walk amongst the scum of the earth and actually go out and have human interaction and purchase a comic book. I'm going to tell you this now. DC's strategy could have been looked at as a slap in the face to comic book stores, and I think a lot of people are looking at it that way. But let me make something very clear. People who go to a comic book store are usually collectors. Collectors like to actually have the physical artifacts. They like to do what Pete does, which is sell them on eBay, swap them, trade them. You don't have that option with this. When you buy one of these comic books, it is a digital file. It takes up space. There is no trading it. There's no lending it to anybody. There is no passing it back and forth to you, to any of your friends unless you physically hand them the item. You're stuck with a digital file for as long as you want, and it's never going to appreciate in value. You're never going to be able to resell it. So I think that while what DC did can't be taken back, it's not a real threat to a comic book store. The people who go to comic book stores aren't necessarily going to change their mind and say, fuck it, I'll just buy it online. That said, I do think this. I took a look at Marvel and DC's options, and I got 2 comic books from each just to see what it was like, and I'll tell you like this. The purchase is seamless. It downloaded directly to the app, as advertised. You buy everything in-app. You don't have to go to the iTunes store or anything. The reading experience was absolutely fine. On an iPad display, the shit is beautiful. It pops. You can read it, reread it. It holds your place. Very nice. As far as back catalog, they both have options for it. They both offer you the ability to browse by storyline, by title, by character. It's great in that regard. But I'll tell you something. At the end of the day, I found the Marvel offering actually a little bit better than DC, who made a big deal about their digital initiative. Marvel offers you the ability to buy stuff in collected form, which is they price roughly the same as if you bought it as a collected paperback anywhere else. But they offer it as a package deal. Like if you like Old Man, the classic storyline for Old Man Logan that they did back in 2003, they offer it for $14.95. You can get every issue of it collected. You like World War Hulk? They have the collection actually for I think like $19.99. Also, I found that Marvel's was a little bit better organized to my taste. If you wanted to go back and find an arc like Under Siege with the Avengers, which was written by Roger Stern, drawn by Sal Buscema, and is a great storyline where literally the Masters of Evil beat the shit out of Hercules with a crowbar at one point. They have it right there, and they have the whole collection set out. They don't give you the same bundle price that they do with some of their actual collections, but as a storyline, you can buy each individual issue and have it stashed. I found I kind of like that, at least as far as for back issues. And if you're like me, who's a parent and who lives in New York City where there's a limited amount of physical space, that's kind of the bonus of being able to buy a digital comic book, is that yeah, you're never going to be able to resell it, but if you like reading back issues and don't want to worry about damaging them, it's a great format to have as like a backup. You can go back. They have issues of like the original Spider-Man for like 99 cents, which brings me to another issue: pricing. DC said they've drawn the line at $2.99, and they're not going to go up, they're not going to go down. But that meant that most of the stuff I found on their store was $2.99, and that was it, flat rate. Marvel actually had a much broader range of prices. I found stuff for free, for 99 cents, for $1.99. It was actually kind of nice. You could shop around a little bit. I didn't have that same experience at the DC, in the DC app. That said, I think obviously everyone's going to have their own needs. People are always going to prefer paper versus plastic, as it were. But I can tell you this: while it's not while I don't see it as a threat to specialty stores like Midtown Comics or Forbidden Planet, I do see it as a really nice backup and a nice way you can transport your comics around with you and have them with you and have older issues with you without fear of damaging them. And that's kind of what I'd recommend if that's the route you want to go. Don't necessarily get the new stuff, if that's your taste. But if you want to go back and get the old stuff or buy missing issues and you really don't want to have to search and comb through eBay or in the bins, that's really where I think this thing comes in handy. And that's about where I'm going to leave it. If you see Tish on the streets, duck for fucking cover. That woman is a bad luck magnet.
Welcome to another segment episode of The Basement. Insert dirty joke here about why we're not filming in the basement. Sadly enough, it almost is a dirty reason. Anyways, books to review. Gotta get going. Steve's gonna kill me. He's editing this week, and we don't want to piss him off, do we? Anyways, I guess I didn't turn off my phone. One second. Oh hey. Hey, what's up, Tish? How you doing? No, I'm not doing anything foreign right now. What's up? No, I'm just filming a segment. Really? Okay. No, I'll stop doing the segment. That's fine. Steve can handle it. I mean, come on, he's Super Steve. Yeah, okay. All right. Gotta go, Steve. Hope you figure something out.
Great. Excellent. Diabolical. Ciao.
Welcome to another episode of Take two. Better. Welcome to another segment episode of The Basement. Nope, not better. Better. Steve can handle it. I mean, come on, he's Super Steve.